See a negate already in the graveyard, but a Summoner's Pact. There's no Titan here. It's Azusa, Walking Ballista, Obstinate Bale, Summoner's Pact. So, but Nikolich targets a Summoner's Pact, which means in response, Lawrence is going to use the Pact to get a Titan. Doesn't want him to leave his hand. Or to get... Yeah.
Right, so
that makes sense?
Here it looks like there just isn't quite enough mana because you have to pay for it on the back of it.
It's going to slow things down. Matt's going to have to pay for that Pact on the next turn, and then on the following turn make a Titan. But he just didn't want to lose this card to the Surgical.
Right, so a lot of the thing here that Nikolich is going for is just trying to make Lawrence's deck less consistent.
Right.
Making it to where all he's going to do is brick a bunch, draw a bunch of lands. You've effectively cut the number of threats in Lawrence's deck in half.
Right. I mean, it slows Lawrence down by 2 turns. You know, if Nikolich didn't have a counter spell at the ready, then he needed to Surgical here because that Pact was finding Titan next turn.
Exactly, and there's even that Cavern that won't let Nikolich let the Pact resolve to try and wait for it.
Right. So 2 turns away, can Nikolich find an answer before that? Maybe something like a Vendilion Click. And we pass back. And Azusa's going to swing in. Now, it's looking like, I don't know actually, Emma, that the Pact was cast in response to the Surgical.
Right, it looks like he just exiled it. He knew that there was a chance he died the next turn since we see that Field of Ruin hanging out on Nikolich's side of the board.
Field of Ruin would have been okay. He has a second Forest, but if he packs there and Ben casts Cryptic Command, he loses on the spot.
Exactly, so you can blow up the Selesnya Sanctuary with Field of Ruin. Let the Pact resolve, and then bounce a green land.
Right. Yeah, anything of bouncing any green mana source would work there. So he didn't actually pact for Titan, just out of respect to Cryptic Command.
Exactly.
Which, looking at Nikolich's hand, okay, looks pretty good. There's a Cryptic Command there.
Right, it's pretty late in the game. Presumably Nikolich has got to play a lot of Magic.
Yeah, and now this is going to be the deciding match on the standard table. Ben Bugalter wins 2-0 over Tim Wu.
Fairly unsurprising. That's just a matchup that tends to favor the red deck a lot of the time.
And Ben going to go to work slowing down Lawrence on these land drops. Field of Ruin hits Selesnya Sanctuary.
So in a lot of ways, this is one where Lawrence is not literally down a card, right? But he is down a resource. That is 1 less mana.
Yeah. Right, in the same way that bounce lands are card advantage in a way, this turns off the card advantage that they will. Yeah, this slows it down in kind of a similar sense.
Exactly. And now it's basically impossible that Primeval Titan comes down next turn without bounce land plus Primeval Titan, but that means it's counterable because you can't Cavern it as well.
Right, and that's just something that Lawrence is not going to take that risk. Vesuva is going to copy Hallowed Fountain, that untaps. He's got a Cavern. His hand right now is Cavern of Souls, Pact of Negation.
Hallowed Fountain pays for that.
Right. Back to Nikolich we go. And here's where you mentioned, this is where I like Jeskai has some game that Azorius doesn't. This is the kind of board where Jeskai will start dealing damage. If Ben was on an Azorius deck, you know, eventually a Titan would happen at some point, things would be bad. But he can start doing some damage.
Exactly. You want to mop up this Reclamation Sage because, you know, it's going to take this Snapcaster a lot longer to kill Lawrence than this Rec Sage would take to kill Nikolich. So it's holding back as a blocker for now, but that's not going to last long.
Snapcaster Mage from Nikolich. It's going to be Snapcasting Hieroglyphic Illumination. Finds Lightning Bolt and a land.
Draw 2.
Here we go. Logic Knot. So he has Lightning Bolt, Logic Knot, another land. That's the Colonnade. Swings in, still pretty reserved though, only 1 Snapcaster.
Right, and Nikolich is starting to close the door here. if Lawrence doesn't find a Primeval Titan quick, it's going to wrap things up.
Feels like he's got about 1 turn to do it. Here will be Ancient Stirrings. That's, well, it's counterable. Ben might counter. A bounce land here picks up Teleria West. But, go ahead.
But the Teleria West can't find Summoner's Pact.
It can't find Summoner's Pact. I guess its best find is a Walking Ballista, which it's not quite there. Ben's at 8.
Right, so let's say we find this bounce land. That's 2. The 2 forests make 4, Gemstone Mine, plus Vesuva, plus Ghost Quarter. And the Cavern
just not there.
Is only, what, 4, 5?
Yeah. And you see, to kind of keep the speed up, though, Ben does Cryptic Command countering the Ancient Stirrings. Reclamation Sage swings in. Nikolich will Lightning Bolt it. Still that pact hanging out in Lawrence's hand.
Are you a Jess guy or an attacking guy?
Wait. I'm missing it.
I don't know. I don't know. It was a bad joke. Help.
Swing for 8. Lawrence down to 10. And we pass back. Can Lawrence find a Titan? No, he finds a Bazooka Bog.
That's pretty good against that Logic Knot.
It'll help.
Before, Nikolich could easily just effectively hold up a 2-mana counterspell while applying pressure with Cryptic Command here, and that's a lot shakier now. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, the play for Nikolich, and it looks like he's going to be able to get this one. Really increasing his pace of play here.
Yeah, Lawrence up to taking 4 more down to 6. And got our clock moving here. This is now confirmed the correct time with the table judge, so 8 minutes. And that's going to matter, right? Nikolich looking like he's going to pick up a win here.
Yeah, this is going to be really close. It's tough for Jeskai to win in 7-8 minutes. And this game isn't over yet.
Right.
That Vesuva likely about to copy a Celestial Colonnade.
It'll help it to block for a turn.
All Lawrence needs to do is live.
Yeah. It's too much time. I like this, the strategy of to try to get the draw here.
Right.
I don't think he can do that. Like, there's just too much time. If he could somehow chump block for a few turns. Ghost Quarter takes care of the Colonnade. Lawrence going down to 2.
All right, so off the Colonnade plan.
Yeah, there's going to be a quick shuffle up for a third game. Or maybe not. This is Thragtusk. Cavern on Beast for Thragtusk. This is a really interesting strategy by Lawrence. I understand it's basically an unwinnable game, but he's wondering if he can kind of spin his tires until the end of the round.
There's also a point where a draw is better than a loss, right? So if you start game 3 with 2.5 minutes left, which deck can win in 2.5 minutes?
Well, it's right. There's a sweet spot because 2.5. I think my answer is neither. But like 5 minutes, that's a pretty good one.
You don't think that Titan can technically win in like 3 minutes?
It's close. In this matchup, it's pretty hard.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't think it is. Your odds are good, but the odds of losing are so low.
That's true.
At the 3 or 4 minute mark.
As it is right now, I'm not sure that Nikolich can win in game 3.
Exactly.
So that means any time that's being used here is probably Sam's time. It's his own clock.
Sure, that's a fair point.
At 7. Still more work here from Nikolich. He has multiple paths to exile, so cast Search for Azcanta.
Lawrence just doing his best to tank up.
Here's Primeval Titan, but it's not caverned.
Oh no!
The cavern got Field of Ruin, and it had to name Beast.
Well, you had to play it.
Oh yeah, it's still your best card.
It's time for the world's biggest Logic Knot.
Doesn't even have to be for too much. It's the only 2 mana up from the Amulet Titan player. Pact of Negation, the response. Ooh, now maybe, now Sam is playing with his own clock, because I don't think this means Titan's resolving. So Pact counters Logic Knot. Is there a Cryptic in Ben Nikolich's hand? Says, yeah, Titan resolves.
Just count up lands when you know you have the removal spell here. You might just try to make it look like, hey, I don't have anything.
Yeah, I still don't think Sam can win the game from this point. He has his pacts have been surgical. He's out of his Pact of Negation as well. The Titan's pretty fair.
Right.
Nikolich has a stack of Paths to Exiles in his hand.
Yeah, without any real way to just make a ton of creatures. Here he's just kind of prolonging the game, but that's going to be good enough in a team situation like this as long as he can not die.
Yeah, he's going for the haste lands, and that's just really not going to work here, right?
No.
There's too much removal in Nikolich's hand, and that's oftentimes the case with Jeskai. That's why, getting Tolaria West for a Pact for another Pact is what you do, but they're gone. You can't do that kind of play.
Wait.
So he's giving Titan haste, untaps them. He has to pick up a land, but I think he's thinking about picking up Tolaria West.
That would have been a big mistake.
If he did?
Yeah, there's a Pact of Negation he has to pay for.
Oh, he needs that blue mana.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of ways he literally loses the game here.
Path to Exile on the Primeval Titan before attacks.
The last Field of Ruin, there's a Snapcaster hiding out, so, well, I guess the Cryptic Command got Bugalter bogged.
Yeah, I mean, if the command's around, he's just going to lose. Replays the bog. Back to Nikolich we go.
This Ascana's never float.
There we go. Okay, I mean, if Nikolich sees it, it's lethal. It's not always the line you look for, but if he sees it, bouncing a blue mana source is lethal. Says go.
Tilt.
No, he didn't see it. That is not the right pact he just paid for. He paid for a green pact. No, okay. He has
the
on the
other
bottom.
One's hiding out.
Oh, it's hiding
bottom.
out it's from the other ones. Okay. Yeah, I think Nikolich just realizes, that he could have just.
Yeah,
he saw that head shake.
Forward.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just looked at the mana.
And Lawrence is now positive Nikolich has a Cryptic Command.
Lawrence
too.
up to 9. Teferi, however, is threatening to make an emblem. So the question is if Nikolich can deal 9 damage before that clock runs out.
It's going to be close.
Yeah.
At this point, Ascana's likely just digging for pressure for the most part.
Tension Sphere into the graveyard. Field of Ruin in play for Nikolich. Teferi's going to make an emblem.
Another card in graveyard for that search for Ascana, which at this point Nikolich really just wants to try and use to find lightning bolts if he has the time to do that.
Field of Ruin, the play. A lot of ways to draw cards for Nikolich. He's just got to move. He'll pass. Land here from Sam. Has already paid for a pact once. Here's Ancient Stirrings. Counter draw seems pretty reasonable. It's just going to be negate. Not bad there either. 2-0 Haste Vigilance for the Thrag Tusk. Can Nikolich get the win here? Clock is ticking. Cryptic Command by Nikolich. He's going to bounce his Snapcaster Mage and draw a card. Exiles the Thrag Tusk.
I guess the Teferi emblem's pretty strong, huh?
Yeah, and Sam going to pick up the cards here, and I'll see if they start a game 3.
That concession's interesting there.
I don't know if there's... Yeah, they maybe believe there's more time on the clock than there was.
Right.
Yeah, talking here, I think asking the judge how much time's left in the round. Judge says 30 seconds. And, they can play... So if... As it's going to happen, the time's going to hit during sideboarding. If the players want to, they can play the first 5 turns of the game. Though neither...
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
I thought the game actually has to start.
I believe you can play the first 5 turns. Okay, maybe not. We're actually confirm on that. I mean, either way, Sam would be the only player who could possibly win.
Can you win on turn 3? You're the amulet guy.
You can win on turn. Yeah. The match actually is a draw. It hits time during the round. They don't get to start the third game.